Alright lads, so Bleach Rebirth for Souls releases in less than 2 days time, and for today's video, we're here to pick our main. What characters am I going to be using? Well, let's find out. Now, if you've been up to date with the channel, we have been doing this weekly every time a new character does get revealed, and this is what my list looked like before. However, with the release of the game, now that we've seen a bunch more gameplay of the characters, my thoughts and opinions on who I will be playing with has changed quite a bit, and I feel like it's better for us to start from scratch now that we know the full roster of characters. Now, the way we are going to rank these characters is very simple. The main tier, characters that I'm always going to use. Play often, characters that, like I say here, will play often. Will try are characters that I'll try maybe once, a few times, and then not are characters that, in all honesty, I'm not really that interested in. So starting up, we have one of the 3 Ichigos. Unfortunately for this character, just by default, he is significantly less cool when compared to the other Ichigo characters that can go to Full Hollow and even Mugetsu. Having said it though, I can understand the appeal in this character. It is the first time Ichigo activates his Bankai, and he is also one of the few characters in this game to have a reverse action that can transform him into the half-white mask. So he does have some cool factors about him, despite it just being like a base into Bankai Ichigo. Having said that, I just prefer using the other Ichigos. And speaking of those Ichigos, our next one is a really cool character that can reawaken into Full Hollow. While some part of me would have just loved to have played Full Hollow right from the jump, I do like the whole reawakening process in this game, especially with the idea that for Ichigo to reawaken, he will have to die. Upon dying, he will then revive with one last chance in the Full Hollow form and go absolutely crazy. It's very low accurate. I love stuff like that. So with that in mind, as I am also very biased to the Full Hollow Ichigo form, he is going to be easily one of my main characters in this game. Now, like I said, I am biased towards Full Hollow Ichigo, so it does break my heart that Dangai Ichigo that can activate his Mugetsu as a finisher is as cool as he is. And in all honesty, I might end up playing that character more. The reason because he just looks so cool and very different compared to any other character in the game. Not only does this character not have an awakening, but the finisher, the climatic attack of him using the final Gettaka Tensho, which instant kills everyone, disabling any potential reawakening revive effects, which in a way kind of works against me with Full Hollow Ichigo here. But when Ichigo does hit 3 Keycon moves, that third attack will be the final Gettaka Tensho itself, and the presentation on the attack is something that you don't get with any character. It's a full-on cutscene. It's super cool, and as a Bleach fan, I can't not smile every time I do see his awakening, and I would love to pull that off during online matches. It breaks my heart to put Dangai over Full Hollow Ichigo, but in this case, they just made a perfect and coolest character in the entire game. When it comes to Rukia as the character, I really like Rukia. Unfortunately, when it comes to her gameplay, I'm not really that sold on her. I think the idea, especially with a lot of lieutenants starting in base and then activating their Shikai during the awakening, doesn't make them look that cool pre-awakening state. Only when they awaken do they look somewhat cool. And in this case for Rukia, you know, it's not Bankai Rukia. Not like I was expecting it, but had it been Bankai Rukia, I would have maybe been a bit more sold on this unit. But at the same time, because you will see this with other characters, costumes do a lot of selling for me, and in this case, Rukia doesn't have that many costumes. We are getting some 1000 Jibudra costumes, and had Rukia been included into that list, even if it didn't change the way she looked, I think I would have been a bit more sold on the character, and I might have put it in the Will Try tier. But unfortunately for the Rukia fans, and I'm one of them, I'm just putting it in now. I just don't really want to try this character all that much. I think Renji's going to be the same. It's Renji. I mean, I'm a Renji defender. Again, more so when it comes to 1000 Jibudra Renji. I think he's the cool character. Once more, the outfit in 1000 Jibudra just looks significantly cooler. I like his design more post-time skip. Had we gotten a costume of that in-game, I might have used him. But I think one of his selling points, that being one of the few giant Bankais in this entire game, it looks cool. I'm just not really that interested in playing with it. When it comes to Chad, he's a character that I can't imagine losing. However, I know I'm going to lose, so I can't do this character justice, so with that in mind, I'm just not going to use him. Now, Uryu's not one of my favorite characters, but I will try him out a few times, and it's more so due to the fact that he is also one of the few characters in the game that also does have a reawakening. Very rarely do you get to play with his Let's Steal in any Bleach game, so I love that they did include that on this character. It's one of my favorite moments of Uryu as a character, and from the looks of it, it doesn't seem to be an actual just animation or Kiko movie. It is a full-on form that you can play with, so I'm definitely interested to see how this character is going to play out, and for the only Quincy in the game, he does kind of stand out. Speaking of standing out, this character is never not in the spotlight. We have Yoruichi. Yoruichi is going to be one of my mainstay characters 100%. I'm a massive Yoruichi fan. I'm cultured, come on. But also, like I did mention, the costumes do a big selling point for these characters. And in this case, Yoruichi does have this particular outfit. I'm a big fan of this design. And she also does have a 1000 Blood Rat outfit, which hopefully does have the Shunko remove the outfit, similar to how it looked like in the anime, because if we can actually get this version of Yoruichi, that will easily make me play the character more. And also be glad that I pre-ordered the game. Unfortunately, on the opposite end of the tier list, Kisuke is a character I'm not really interested in. I like Kisuke, I'm just not a massive fan of him, and I don't think his gameplay really sold me on him. Now, Shinji is a character that I would definitely like to try out. How often will I play this character really depends on how he actually feels as a character. I think he's a pretty cool character given the fact that he is one of the few visors in the game. And I really like the whole idea of awakening, putting on your visor mask. And he has some gimmicky things about him, so I'm actually very curious to see how he's going to play out. But whether I play this character a lot or maybe less really depends on how good I am with this character, I guess you could say. It feels weird saying this, Yamamoto is a character I don't think I'm going to play that often. One of the reasons is more so due to the fact that he is a 2-star character, therefore meaning he's going to be one of the more difficult characters in the entire game to at least master. And that very well might make me want to play with the character more because maybe this character will have more skill expression. However, at least as of right now, I have no idea how good I'm going to be at this game. So maybe my thoughts on this character will change in the future. And for all we know, maybe in the future we'll get a Bankai Yamamoto. If we get that, that might be a main. This Yama though, only using Shikai, it's okay, but a character that I'm not going to play that much. I feel like I'm putting too many characters into the Na tier. I obviously will play with every character at least once or twice and try them out, but when it comes to a character that I would like to play often, Soifun is definitely going to be one of them. Once more, costumes do a big selling point for this character. I like Soifun without the captain coat. Soifun also has a unique mechanic with the idea that she can actually kill you in 2 hits if she does land the attack twice. I want to see how that is going to play. I also think her Bankai is really cool. I like the animations for it. And the Bankai also looks quite OP because she can take away 6 Konpaku upon activating a Keycon move, very well making her potentially one of the best characters in the entire game. Gin is a character I would like to try out. I think Gin's a cool character. That's basically about it. For a melee character, he looks to have a lot of range to him, as expected with Gin. In terms of gameplay, he doesn't do anything super crazy, but I do like Gin, so I definitely will be trying him out. Izuru, in all honesty, is a character that very well might be one of the best characters in the entire game, at least in the hands of a skilled player with the way this character does work and his slow mechanic. Even if he does end up being the best character in the game, I genuinely do not care. It's Izuru. I don't dislike the character, I just don't really care that much about Izuru to actually play with him. Byakuya is a character once more similar to Soifun, is someone I would like to play often, especially with how different he is before awakening into his Bankai. He's a character that can deactivate and activate his Shikai at any time, and depending on what version you are in, will determine the amount of range that you do have, whether you play super close or super far away. I think the idea of that is actually really cool, and Zenbone Sakura as a Zanpakuto ability is really cool looking, and it's always fun to play with in any Bleach game. Sajin, and again, it pays me once more to put him in this tier. I am a massive fan of Sajin. But once more, similar to Renji, while it is super cool, I will admit, it's really cool that you can activate the Bankai upon awakening, I'm just not really interested in that type of playstyle. So right now, it's something that I don't think I'll really play all that much. When it comes to Shinsui, right now I think I have to see a bit more from this character. Once more, earlier today we did get some gameplay regarding how his games do work, and that's going to make him one of the more unique characters in the entire game, where upon awakening you're going to get a different game each time. There's 3 different games, and each game would maybe change the way you play. From the looks of it, the brief gameplay that we did get, it didn't look that super crazy in all honesty, and that's why he's maybe moved down a tad bit, but I think he's a character that I will probably play with often, depending how fun he actually is. As of right now, from a gameplay standpoint, from a perspective of a spectator, he didn't look that great. So I will admit, Shinsui is a character that I definitely will change my opinion very quickly once I get my hands on him. Kaname is a character I thought I would play a lot, but unfortunately, he doesn't look that great in all honesty. We've seen a few examples of how his Bankai does work, and with the way the game plays out, it doesn't look that great in all honesty. Then again, I will admit, the person that was playing with Kaname likely was an AI-controlled character, so they definitely weren't doing this character the best of his abilities. So with that in mind, actually, I might moving up similar to Shinsui. Again, Shinsui and Kaname have very unique gimmicks with their awakenings, and it really comes down to how good you are at the game, whether you can make that character look impressive. So these characters are characters I will try out, probably play a few times, and if I actually like how their awakenings do work and I like the gameplay, I might move them up to play often. Mr. Khan for Your Own World is up next. I don't want to seem like a hater. It's like, I realize I'm putting a lot of characters into Na. But, you know, I'm not going to try and lie and say I want to play with all 30 characters, at least consistently. Again, I will try out everyone at least once. But when it comes to Shuhei, I just don't think there's any lieutenant that I really want to play with a lot. I think the thin meter that Shuhei does have is actually cool. I very much do like his awakening. As far as lieutenants are concerned, Shuhei, even against captains, might have one of the coolest Shikais in the entire series. But I want to use Bankai. I want to use Bankais, and I don't get that with lieutenants. Besides Renji, but again, giant form, I don't really want to play with that. Toshiro is going to go into War Try. Very simple. I like Toshiro. I think Rangiku, when it comes to the Awakenings, has a bit going for it when compared to the other lieutenants in this series. Then again, we're going to move her up, actually. Once more, like I've already stated, she does have the 1000 Year Blood War outfit. I very much do like that design. So Rangiku is a character I could see myself playing more often when compared to the characters that are below her. Kenpachi, instantly going to be one of the characters I play more often. I mean, it's just Kenpachi. Who doesn't love taking off that eye patch, flexing the aura, and cutting down any opponent that he deems weak? Which for the most part might be everyone in this game. I feel like if you don't have Kenpachi into like your top 10, I don't know. Are you really a Bleach fan? That was a joke. That's the joke. Ikkaku is someone that very similar to Shinzui and Kaname is a character that I might play often with. For now, he's going to be in War Try. Once more, similar to other characters in the game that are very unique, Ikkaku might be one of the more unique ones, given the fact that his spiritual suppression move and signature move are the exact same, one just deals more damage. He's a character that essentially has one attack, but in that attack, there are 3 different variations, an area around him, a lunge, or a parry. So I could see him be quite annoying to play against, but I do like Ikkaku's Bankai. I think it's really cool looking, and upon awakening, he also does get the unique effect of being able to activate a gauge, where the longer he's in battle, the stronger the character becomes. So it's very low accurate, and depending on how I like his stance gameplay, he very well could be the character I might see myself playing more often than not. When it comes to my Yuri, I will be honest. In terms of gameplay from what I saw in his battle with Zapro, I wasn't really sold on him. I don't really think Mayuri's going to make for some good gameplay in all honesty. So with that in mind, I probably would put him into Na. However, like I did mention, he does come with the Sun outfit. He's one of the few characters to get the 1000 Year Blood War outfit, and I'm very glad they included that. So with that in mind, I'm going to move him up a tier. I'm going to move him up a tier just for the purpose of the costume, and maybe that will make me more biased to play with him and play him more often. Kain is up next, technically Aaron Yoro, and look at the channel you're watching, right? It's instantly going to be one of my mains. I actually think he looks very cool. Like, bias aside, I'm very glad they put him in the game one way or another, either as Kain or Aaron Yoro, because he has some flashy visuals. We saw some gameplay earlier today against Zapro, and I just think he looks really cool, especially with the fact that he can wear Aaron Yoro's outfit, so that way I get to pretend to play as one of my favorite characters. He's also a 5-star easy character, which for me, as someone that's not really played much fighting games, does actually help out quite a lot. Like, obviously, I'm going to use characters that I like, but at the same time, if they're easy to use, then I will be more inclined to use them more. Very well, Kain might be the character I play the most, just given the name of my channel. I kind of have a duty to play with him and try and become the #1 Kain/Aaron Yoro player in Bleach Rebirth of Souls. Aizen is up next. It's Aizen. He is instantly going to be one of my main characters, at least one of my rotating 5. The problem with Aizen right now is that he's similar to Yamamoto in the sense that he's a 2-star difficulty character. I have no idea how good I am going to be with this character, but one of the coolest parts about this character is all the transformations he can do. The longer the battle goes on, the stronger this character gets. And transformations in Bleach, transformations in this game are cool, and this character has like 3 different ways of transforming. He also can activate his butterfly form upon reawakening when he does die, unless you get hit by Mugetsu. So that's definitely something that I want to play with. And while we haven't seen it just yet, if we can potentially get an Ultra Fragger finisher, that's going to be a character I definitely want to play with. Stark is a character that I definitely see myself playing with often. I very much do like the Espada. I like Stark. They went down a very interesting route when it came to his awakening, as he changes from a range character to a melee character. And I think what's going to make him one of the more difficult characters to use is that he does have a unique mechanic where he can use his own Konpaku, his own stocks, lives basically, and use that as attacks. The gameplay we got early today didn't really show much of that, to be honest. How well will you be able to use your own Konpaku as an attack against the opponent, I think really depends on whether this character will be seen as good or bad. Like I already mentioned, there's some characters that I would like to use because they're easier to use, but there are still some characters that I do want to try just because of how difficult they might be able to be bastards. Next up, we have the #3 Espada, Halle Bell. She's definitely going to be a character I can see myself play often. I think her gameplay and game style is actually very similar to Kain, so there might be a lot of crossover between those 2 characters. They're both characters that want to be very aggressive, and I can definitely see myself enjoying that playstyle. And it's also Halle Bell. I'm a fan of Halle Bell. I've also heard that she has a costume where the zip is down. That way you get a full look of a hollow mask before awakening. So with that in mind, I definitely want to play with Halle Bell. When it comes to Nelliel, the other third Espada, she would be someone that I would put around similar to Halle Bell, a character that I would play often. However, maybe this is a very unique position. My brother is going to main Nelliel. So with that in mind, I'm not trying to use her, right? If you have a brother, you will understand whatever he uses, I'm not using. he's using Nelio, so therefore, by default, I just can't use her. I kind of want to, but he's using her, so I can't. Okura is a character I can also see myself playing often. It's Okura. He's a cool character. He can reawaken into a Segunda Etapa. He's also one of the few characters that can heal himself, so that sounds pretty cool. That does come with the caveat that some of the other attacks that he does do will drain his HP. But Okura vs Ichigo is one of my favorite fights in the entire series, so you definitely know I will be playing with both of those characters. And for all intents and purposes, I could put him into main tier, but I feel like it's better to put him in play often, not to have too many characters as my potential mains. Similar to Okura vs Ichigo, Noritora vs Nelio is actually one of my favorite moments in the Arranca arc. I like Noritora. I like his awakening, especially when he does activate 6 arms, which he can do in game after he does go below 4 Kompaku. And since my brother is made in Nelio, I kind of want to play Noritora more often to try and replicate that fight, or reenact that fight. I think Noritora is kind of a slept on Espada, and I think in general he's going to make for some great gameplay. When it comes to Grimmjow, this might be a hot take. I'm just not that interested for some reason in playing with Grimmjow. I think he looks like a cool character. I like his animations in all honesty, but maybe it's me just trying to go against the curve. I think everyone's going to use Grimmjow, so I kind of just don't want to. Which in a way, to be fair, you can say the same thing about these two Ichigos, right? But at the same time, it's my favorite forms of Ichigo, so I'm kind of biased towards that. I can make an exception with those two characters, but with Grimmjow, I feel like everyone's going to be using him. So with that in mind, I can just see myself playing with him a few times and then basically call it a day. And then last, maybe least, we have Zapdo. I'm going to put him in now. I think Zapdo is cool. I very much do like that once more he has another reawakening effect, but I think it's going to be too much of a complicated character with the whole, you know, taking the bugs off the opponents, studying the opponent, and therefore getting stronger. I will say though, bonus points to Zapdo, which does make him a significantly cooler character. Whoever he is going up against and he activates a Kikon move, the doll that he actually uses will change to reflect the opponent, and that's really cool attention to detail. That reason alone, to be fair, it kind of makes me want to just use him, just to try him out a few times and see what the animations look like, what the doll looks like, even depending on who I am going against. So I guess I'll put him in War Try, but I feel like he's going to be a character that I just won't like the playstyle all that much. But with that said, that's my ranking for every single character in Bleach, Rebirth of Souls, and how much I want to play them. In the comments below, let me know what characters you plan to main, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, and peace.